I've won every fight I've ever been in. Now, to clarify, every fight means the highly impressive number of exactly one. And it was a great performance. A fight for the ages, some might say, with a total of no punches thrown, a single slap here, and a lot of awkward grappling there. By the end, I emerged victorious. Modern day Muhammad Ali, some might say. If Muhammad Ali fought like a sleep deprived child, of course. Now, here's the thing. Even though I won the fight, I lost more than I realized. I lost a friend. That fight didn't start with fists. It started with my refusal to change my mindset. What would it hurt to fight? A lot. What would it hurt to talk, walk away, try another way? Absolutely nothing. Hi, my name is Adam, and that's what I want to talk about today. Adopting the mindset of trying, seeking help, and choosing vulnerability over defensiveness. Now, the question, what would it hurt, helped me change my mindset on certain things. For the longest time, I clung to the mindset of being closed off and not sharing how I felt. My default response to pain was to shut down and sleep it off. But that question kept chipping away at me. And three things helped change this: redefining, learning, and acknowledging. So the first one, redefining, started with how I saw friendships. And that takes me to my first point. What does it hurt to redefine? For the longest time, I thought I created online metrics with friendship. I thought a friend was a person who followed you on Instagram, liked your posts, tagged you in theirs. A great friend was a person who even went as far as to comment on yours. But over time, I realized that wasn't true. I realized that friendship wasn't about surface level connections and digital numbers. No. Friendship wasn't transactional where value is measured in likes, follows. No. I realized a true friend was a person who you shared values with, a person who had mutual respect with you, and where there's genuine connection. True friends are people who you share your deepest dreams and fears with in one moment, and then talk about something completely insignificant in the next as if they're both equally important. Now, that shift, that understanding of what a true friend was made me realize something about emotional connection as well. You don't have to rely on just one person to put all the weight of your feelings on. I personally didn't have that one friend that I could share everything with. No, not all friends are created equal, and that's perfectly fine. I've learned that it's okay, even better, to share different parts of yourself with different people. Now, let me show you what I mean. This is my dad. Now, with my dad, our conversations revolve around life, football, and school. He's not the person I go to with my deepest emotions, but he's someone who I know always has my best interest at heart and practical advice when I need it. And a reminder to keep my head up. This is Joshua. Now, Joshua is like a brother to me. Joshua is someone who is likely to talk about whether we're a mind with a body or a body with a mind, or something completely trivial like laughing at laughing yoga. Now, with him, we cover the big stuff, abstract ideas, and sometimes nothing at all. And that's perfectly fine. This is Ella. Now, Ella is a person that I feel comfortable opening up to. She's honest, unbiased, and always helps me see both sides. She actively listens without judgment. Now, she actively listens without judgment. Of course, she listens to my dad jokes, so she's definitely a keeper. Now, these are just examples. I have more than 3 friends, trust me. And none of them being my father doesn't help my case, but I have more than 3 friends. But this goes to show that you don't have to have a single friend that's everything. You don't feel pressured to have that one ultimate friend to share everything with. You can share different parts of yourself with different people. That's perfectly fine. So, what does it hurt to redefine how we see friendships? Absolutely nothing. Now, recognizing the importance of redefining friendships made me realize something else. That emotional openness isn't just about how you connect with others. It's about what you think your purpose is, discovering your purpose. So that takes me to my next point. What does it hurt to learn? He listens to plants. What do you expect? Now, this lovely quote is from my friend Leonora. Now, to clarify, I don't actually sit in my garden and talk to plants, not often at least. I listen to a podcast called Future Ecologies. Now, in Future Ecologies, they explore our relationship with nature through music, science, and stories. Now, because of this, she came to the conclusion that I listen to plants. But this quote, however, captures something important. That captures what I believe my purpose to be. Now, I believe my purpose to be a caretaker of the earth, someone who engages with it symbiotically and natures and benefits from it without causing harm. Now, honestly speaking, I'm a million miles from this goal. However, this was a big part of my journey into emotional openness, discovering what my purpose was. Now, this journey began with Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. This is Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is a Holocaust survivor who found that once you discover your purpose, you're able to keep going even through the hardest of times. And now this idea spoke to me because it made me realize something. It made me realize that I wasn't existing just for myself. I was existing for something much bigger. Now, the more that I learned, the more the idea that we have a responsibility to take care of the world around us spoke to me. And another huge part of this journey was Jim A. Corbett's book, Goat Walking. Jim A. Corbett believed that we're stewards of the earth and we're meant to take care of it, not just be consumers of it. Now, this idea spoke to me because I realized that it didn't just apply to how I treated nature. It applied to how I treated myself and others. And that shift, that sense of purpose, opened the floodgates to a new way of being. And it made me realize that there's so much more that you can do. So, what does it hurt to learn what our purpose is? Because when you discover what your purpose is, it unlocks fulfillment and passion. You're able to understand, you're able to go through the confusion that sometimes holds us back from being honest and vulnerable with ourselves. So, with all that being said, here's some key takeaways I want you to leave with from today. Key takeaway number 1, vulnerability is a strength. No, opening up is not a sign of weakness. It's a step to growth. Emotions aren't something you should fear or avoid. They are healthy and a necessary part of being human. Key takeaway number 2, it's important to redefine friendships. I encourage you to seek and find genuine connections. Find your people. I also encourage you to share different parts of yourself with different people. You shouldn't feel pressured to have that one ultimate friend. Key takeaway number 3, discover your purpose. Discovering your purpose helps you unlock fulfillment, passion, and clarity. And it's perfectly okay not to have a clear answer of what your purpose is. The very questioning itself might be your purpose. Sometimes your purpose doesn't have to be as grand as saving the world. It could be quieter and gentler. So, my last key takeaway. Emotional growth takes time. Emotional growth is a gradual process. It's not something that happens overnight. It could take months, it could take years. It's something that you should approach with patience and self-compassion. So, what would it hurt to redefine how we show friendships? What would it hurt to learn about ourselves? What would it hurt to embrace the power of vulnerability? The most you lose by trying is time, but the potential gains are immeasurable. A life rooted in purpose, deeper connections with people and yourself. So I encourage you to start. Share a thought with someone you trust. Write something down. Start small, but start. Because when you ask the question, what would it hurt to try? The answer is always almost nothing. Thank you.